before you scroll, take a breath with me. Right now, something inside you brought you here. Welcome to Therapist Live. This is more than a channel. It's a space for clarity, healing, and real emotional growth. Here, we talk about mental health, self-awareness, relationships, and the patterns that shape your life. If you're ready to understand yourself on a deeper level, subscribe now and turn on notifications because this journey starts today. Take a deep breath and let's begin. Surfing the waves, anxiety, fear, and emotional pain. Welcome back. In the last video, we talked about the foundations of mental health, the basics like sleep, and the trap of waiting for motivation. Today, I want to take us into deeper waters. I want to talk about the things we run away from. I want to talk about emotional pain, grief, and that tightening in your chest that we call anxiety. Reading Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? Shifted my perspective on these heavy emotions. I used to think that the goal of mental health was to be happy all the time. I thought that if I felt anxious or sad, I was doing something wrong. Dr. Julie Smith clears this up very early on. She says that trying to be happy all the time is impossible. It is like trying to stop the weather from changing. The goal isn't to stop the rain. The goal is to learn how to carry an umbrella. The first major lesson I want to share today is about how we handle emotional pain. Imagine you are in a swimming pool and you are trying to hold a giant beach ball underwater. That beach ball represents a painful emotion, maybe sadness, maybe anger. You can hold it down for a while, but it takes a huge amount of effort. You are tense. You are focused entirely on suppressing it. And eventually, your arms get tired. What happens? The ball shoots up out of the water with incredible force, splashing everyone. This is what happens when we try to suppress our emotions. We numb them with scrolling, with food, with busy work. But they always come back, often stronger than before. The book suggests a different approach. It suggests we treat emotions like waves. Every emotion, no matter how intense, is a wave. It rises, it reaches a peak, and then it crashes and recedes. No emotion lasts forever. If you can learn to surf the wave, to let it wash over you without trying to stop it, it will pass. But how do you survive the peak of that wave? When the pain is so bad you can't think. Dr. Julie suggests creating a self-soothing box. This is a physical or mental toolkit that uses your 5 senses to ground you. When we are overwhelmed, our rational brain turns off. We can't logic our way out of panic. We have to sense our way out. So you might use sight, looking at photos of people you love. Smell, a specific scent, like lavender, that calms you down. Touch, holding a smooth stone or wrapping yourself in a soft blanket. Taste, drinking a hot tea slowly. Sound, a playlist that makes you feel safe. This isn't about solving the problem that caused the pain. It is about soothing your nervous system so that you can get back to a place where you are capable of solving the problem. Now, let's talk about a specific kind of pain, grief. There is a chapter in this book about grief that I found incredibly moving. We often hear that time heals all wounds. We have this idea that grief starts huge and then shrinks over time until it disappears. The book offers a different metaphor. Imagine a jar. Inside the jar is your life. And inside that jar is a black ball that represents your grief. At the beginning, the black ball is huge. It fills the entire jar. It touches the sides constantly. You can't move without feeling it. Over time, the black ball does not get smaller. The grief stays the same size. But the jar gets bigger. You grow around the grief. You build a life that is larger than the pain. You meet new people, you have new experiences, you find new meaning. The grief is still there, and sometimes it will still hit the sides of the jar and hurt just as much as it did on day one. But because your life is bigger, it doesn't hit the sides as often. I love this because it gives us permission to never get over our losses. We don't get over them. We grow around them. The final topic for today is the one that affects so many of us: fear and anxiety. Dr. Julie describes anxiety as a smoke alarm. A smoke alarm is designed to save your life. It screams when there is a fire so you can escape. But smoke alarms are sensitive. Sometimes they go off just because you burn the toast. Anxiety is your brain's clumsy attempt to keep you safe. It creates a physical response, racing heart, shallow breathing, to help you fight or run away. The problem is, our brains can't tell the difference between a tiger attacking us and a difficult email from our boss. The biggest mistake we make with anxiety is avoidance. This is the cycle. You feel anxious about going to a party, so you decide not to go. Immediately, you feel relief. The anxiety drops. It feels like you made the right choice. But you have just taught your brain a dangerous lesson. You taught your brain, the party is a threat, and the only way to be safe is to avoid it. Next time, the anxiety will be worse. The only way to retrain the alarm is to go to the party, feel the anxiety, and realize that nothing terrible happened. You have to prove to your brain that the toast is just toast, not a house fire. But what do you do in the moment, when your heart is pounding? The book teaches a technique called square breathing. It is simple, but it hacks your biology. You find something square in the room, like a window. Look at the top left corner. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Look at the top right corner. Hold for 4 seconds. Look at the bottom right. Breathe out for 4 seconds. Look at the bottom left. Hold for 4 seconds. When you slow your breathing, specifically the exhale, you are sending a physical signal to your brain that says, "We are safe." If we were running from a tiger, we wouldn't be breathing this slowly. To summarize this video, we learned that emotions are waves to be surfed, not blocked. We learned that we don't shrink our grief. We expand our lives around it. And we learned that anxiety is just a smoke alarm that sometimes needs to be recalibrated by facing our fears, not avoiding them. It takes a lot of courage to sit with these feelings. But as the book says, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. In the final video of this series, we're going to look at the big picture. We will talk about stress, how to build true confidence, hint, it doesn't come from success, and how to build a life that feels meaningful. As I was reading and reflecting on these ideas, I realized something important. This perspective isn't just comforting, it's deeply supported by psychology. Susan David reminds us that emotional strength doesn't come from avoiding discomfort, but from developing emotional agility, the ability to face our feelings with openness instead of fear. Claire Weeks showed decades ago that anxiety loses power when we stop running from it and allow the nervous system to settle. And Viktor Frankl taught that even in suffering, we retain one powerful freedom, the ability to grow, to expand, to build meaning around what hurts. When you put these ideas together, a pattern becomes clear. We are not meant to eliminate pain. We are meant to learn how to relate to it differently. Emotions are not signs that we are failing. They are signs that we are human. And maybe mental health isn't about controlling the weather inside us. Maybe it's about learning how to walk through the storm with steadiness. So with that in mind, let me leave you with this. Conclusion: the benefits of this knowledge. Understanding these ideas changes the way we relate to our emotions. Instead of fighting anxiety, suppressing sadness, or feeling ashamed of grief, we learn to respond with awareness and skill. When you see emotions as waves, you stop exhausting yourself trying to hold the beach ball underwater. You conserve energy. You reduce emotional explosions. You build resilience. When you understand grief as something you grow around, you release the pressure to move on. You allow yourself to heal at your own pace. You expand your life instead of shrinking your pain. When you see anxiety as a smoke alarm, not a personal flaw, you stop fearing the fear. You begin retraining your brain instead of obeying it. Facing small fears builds real confidence. Square breathing gives you a tool you can use anywhere, anytime. The benefit of this knowledge is freedom. Freedom from shame. Freedom from avoidance. Freedom from the belief that you are broken. Instead of trying to eliminate. Thank you for watching, and keep surfing those waves. Discomfort. You learn how to move through it. And that is where real emotional strength is built. If this content resonated with you, please leave a like. It helps the channel reach more people who may also need this message. Share this video with someone who could benefit from it. And if you're not subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to subscribe and turn on notifications. We are here to share new content anytime to support your emotional journey. Thank you for being here. Take care of your mind. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.